Steven, when's the last time you messed up shaving?
It's been a while, Derek. Though I'll say this: I got hat hair right now, but like when I combed my hair recently, I had
Yeah.
like a little, like a spot, like a not an acne spot, but I don't know, like an ingrown hair. I combed through it, blood everywhere.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah, everywhere.
Jesus.
Okay, it's a little hyperbolic, but there was a little bit of blood and it hurt.
An ingrown hair can lead to blood like that?
Well, it was like a one of those, one of those things you get on your body. I don't know what you even call it. Like a little. Jessie calls them friends because she gets to pop them.
Ugh. Ugh.
I know it's gross, but
That's true love right there, but that's disgusting.
dude, Derek, trust me, it's a thing. It's a very real thing. You'll find that a lot of girls tend to love that. It's very bizarre.
Oh, I cringe every time I've seen that commercial where it's like the eHarmony thing where it's like, find someone that gets you. And it's like some dude, he's got like a zit on his back. And she's like, ooh, let me get that for you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who would put that on national TV? That's disgusting.
No one moved it on
But
national
it is love.
TV, but it's real life. It is
Yes.
real life. Look, but anyway, I have not messed up shaving in a long time. Since, like I accidentally used the 3mm instead of the 5mm on my razor on the beard trimmer. So it came out a lot shorter than I wanted it. And at that point I just shaved. So with you,
yeah.
What happened?
So yesterday I had a big, gnarly, big bushy beard going for a little while because it was cold outside. I just want to keep it going. And then
a big old bushy beard.
A great big bushy beard. And then I just came home one day and I saw, like, after a while when you have a beard, when it's nice and kempt and in place, it looks nice. But when it's like all scraggly and puby, then you're like, all right, I need to get that shit off. So yesterday morning, I grabbed what I thought is my usual like razor edge. Like we have like different like number 1 and number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually had all those out, so I know which one was which. And I did some cleaning up in my apartment, and I just put them underneath my sink. So I grabbed one, flipped it on, started going, and then I'm like, shit, that's the wrong one. And I got most of my face, and I was like, there's no way this is going to be able to, I'm going to be able to repair this without doing the whole damn thing. I haven't been clean shaven. God, I think I know exactly when. I've always had like a goatee or a beard or something up here. God, for like 15 years. Like I remember the last time I had to have like a clean shaven look. I was I don't know if you know this about me, Steven. I made a short film, not a short film, actually, a full-length film in college with my two buddies, Jamie and Andy, called The Legend of Action Man. And it was a little short film we made in Austin, Texas, and Houston, Texas. And we had it like premiere at like the Alamo Draft House and everything. It was pretty awesome. But I had to be clean shaven for that, and I was I had to be 20 or 19. Uh-huh. Yeah, so I haven't been clean shaven since that because I had to do it for a role. And yeah, and yesterday when I was doing it, I was like, fuck me. So yeah, went to work, and that's what everybody could talk about. I was like, whoa, Derek, Jesus. And yeah, Tacky had a good line yesterday. He wants out there. Everybody thinks I look like Homer Simpson without my beard on.
What?
Tacky. I texted, whoa, Derek's chin is bald too, but didn't get on air. Well, it's on air now, Tacky. There you go.
And you're bald all the way through.
I'm bald all the way through, baby.
There you go. Yeah, you should wear like a brown robe and just call yourself what's the guy's name from the Addams Family?
Oh, Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester.
No, wait, was it Uncle Fester? Was it who was the Christopher Lloyd character? Was it Uncle Fester?
I think we're thinking of the same person.
Yeah.
Yep. Uncle Fester.
Or for those that know, as I said yesterday on the show, I wasn't completely bald yesterday. It was a bad look, like to have the clean shaven look, but also like kind of patchy up top. So I said, once I shave my head, I'll have the whole Johnny Sins thing going on. You know what I mean?
No, Derek, I don't know what you mean. What do you mean?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Who is that? Is that a rapper?
Johnny Sins? Yeah. He could also be a doctor or
construction worker
or military man. Thank you for your service.
Who is Who is Johnny Sins? Can you imagine seeing that guy in public? You're like, hey, I know you.
Yeah, I always think about that. I was like, hey, I know your work. I mean, shit. No, I don't.
Dude, I don't think like
Let's
I don't
just
think
move on.
I don't think I'd even admit it. I just see them from afar, wouldn't say hi. Don't want to give them a handshake. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I mean, I figured they would wash their hands since
Look,
then.
Derek. I think, yeah. I give you credit. Look, man, I'm not gonna make fun of any bearded man who shaves the beard because I think literally everyone in the chat and myself, well, actually, no, not Ernie one, wherever he's at. I think everyone in the chat has some form of a beard. Alon doesn't really have a beard. He doesn't really grow one out.
He used to have a big one.
Used to. But I just think that most guys with beards, and this includes myself, we're hiding something. We're hiding something under this thing. And the last time I shaved, I looked like a child. So we are all hiding our childlike faces under a great big bushy beard.
Yeah, no, it's weird. Like yesterday, like when I went out to walk around Oakland and go to BART, I was like, God, I'm feeling things on my face I never felt before in a long time. It's like things that haven't seen the sunlight in quite some time. So just a weird feeling. But
you feel your pillowcase. You feel your pillowcase for the first time.
Oh, dude, it's so nice and cold. And like before that, like when you're bald, it's like you usually get a good night of sleep too because the top of your head's cold. So like the whole pillow's cold. But yeah, by next week I'll have a beard going probably again. So
you're gonna go back to it. You're not.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm a beard guy. Like I've been rocking it for quite some time. What's up?
I don't think you look too bad. I think you look good.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But it's just, I don't know. The baby face, and I don't know. I got kind of like the weird loose double chin thing going down here. So the beard covers it up.
Oh, I can't really see that. Your microphone's covering that. Oh yeah, get the beard back. Get it back.
Oh God, you ugly bastard.
Get it right back. Oh man. If you can get some stuff that's gonna like make your hair grow even faster. Just oh boy.
Oh Jesus. Well, that turned fast. Just your opinion, man. Stephen Langford, Derek Papa. We're coming to you on a Saturday, and glad we did because we were debating if we should do Thursday or Saturday this week. But with all the news that went down yesterday, glad we waited till today. So we'll preview the conference championships and pick the games. But let's just start with the big news yesterday. When I woke up, Pete Carroll, it's done. Pete Carroll is going to be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders at 73 years old. And we kind of knew this was going to be in the works. You heard rumors about this. And I guess he blew everybody away in his meeting. He was so energetic for a 73-year-old man. And he was bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
And San Francisco guy, Bay Area guy. I wonder how he's going to say things in his press conference. But supposedly he grew up a Raider fan.
Really?
Maybe I've heard differing things that either he was a Raider fan or a Niner fan, but the main thing is he loved John Madden. Like as a kid, he loved John Madden as a coach.
That would make sense. That would make sense. He was like a multi-sport athlete, I think in Marin County. And it's like, God, I'm reading up on the coach and I'm just like, man, he's a little older. He was a senior in 1969. Summer of 69 by Bryan Adams must have meant a lot to him.
69.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But and my initial reaction was, all right. And, once Ben Johnson was going to go to the Chicago Bears, this was kind of in the works. Even before Ben Johnson, you kind of heard this was a rumor. And, like you could have looked at other guys, maybe like Tom Brady has a relationship with Cliff Kingsbury, but as we said before, Kingsbury, not the best leader of men. I mean, good for being an offensive play caller right now, but when it was him and Kyler Murray together, he basically walked all over him, and it wasn't a good situation. So for the right here and now, I like the move because it establishes culture, something that we've been talking about for a while now, where Antonio Pierce galvanized the locker room, but obviously it didn't take into effect this season. It was only after the fact of we hate Josh McDaniels. Now, okay, we have Antonio Pierce, and they even had to have like a meeting, as we talked about, like Hondo Carpenter reported or somebody else. that during
That
the
was
season,
CBS Sports. That
yes,
happened like right at the end of our podcast
yeah,
too.
it did, where there needed to be a team meeting about how we need to prepare better as a football team.
And it did not go well. That was the report at the end of it. It did not. It's not like everyone left the building feeling much better about their situation.
That's never a good sign.
I think they felt worse about it.
So, yeah, I mean, I think like we were talking about Pete Carroll for the Jaguar job, and I was talking about like they need to establish a culture. And for him, yeah, I mean, he comes in and he wanted a job really badly. I don't know if he was desperate, but he can, retire and keep, teaching at USC. But I think he's still going to do that actually until he actually takes over as head coach. But yeah, I like the move. Do I love it? No, but do I like it? I understand it. It's perfect for the division. When you're going up against, as I say repeatedly, Andy Reid, Sean Payton, and Jim Harbaugh, you need really good coaching. And Pete Carroll's been there, done that. Like Antonio Pierce, he was going to run around by the other coaches. The only thing that I worry about is, yeah, he's 73 years old, and he's going to be 74 by the time he coaches. He's going to be the oldest head coach in the history of the NFL. It's just, is he going, like, I remember down the stretch in Seattle, he had some questionable clock management decisions. But if he surrounds himself with the right people, and I think that, people are going to want to play for him and want to coach for him. So, yeah, I think this is, as Sean Middlecoff said on his podcast, I agree with him 100%. This isn't a move to make you a Super Bowl champion. This is a move to put you in the right direction as far as establishing a winning culture again.
Yeah, and he knows what he wants in his coaches. I don't think Antonio Pierce knew what he wanted. And you mentioned all these other teams. I don't think they took the Raiders seriously. Not one bit. And I think at the very least, they might take you a little bit more serious. Not fully, because they still need to actually get some talent on the roster and do this and that. But having a respected coach, a guy who's won a Super Bowl like Pete Carroll, I think these other coaches understand. And, players are like, we can't really sleep on the Raiders anymore. I think that's in part why they beat them on Christmas Day. I think or at least the Raiders beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. I don't think the Chiefs
2 years ago. Yeah.
I don't even think the Chiefs were even like, I think they were looking on to the next week. They're just like, what is this? We're playing the Raiders? No, we'll just move on. This is easy. It's Christmas, baby. Christmas came early. Then obviously they won, and that's kind of what made everyone fall in love with Antonio Pierce and the way that he ran them. But it's just, I'm watching different things with Carroll, and we can talk about the little rivalry that's been reignited with Jim Harbaugh. But
what's your deal, bro?
What's your deal? And I love that the way that he talks about it, because there's one where he's like at a conference and he's doing this Q&A in front of a bunch of people and he's answering questions, and he kind of downplays the idea of a rivalry, right? Because someone directly asked him like, what you think about Jim Harbaugh, and he's like, you may be disappointed in this answer, but we don't really look at other coaches, other teams. We don't really look at them as rivals. We look at it as if we're going to play like it's the Super Bowl week after week. That's why those games were so tough. Did the players not like each other? Certainly. But both Jim and I have that competitive drive to where we're going to make our teams play like that week after week. He's like, but we did love beating them though. So like, I think he has like the right mindset. I don't know. I equate it to Taco Bell, Derek. All right. You can try and get this new up and coming thing. You can throw words like beefy, melty, cheesy into it. But you know what? Doesn't hurt to go back to the classics, which Taco Bell has. Now you can get like the double-decker taco and the Mexi Melt and all those different things. So it's like that to me. It's like there's no shame in going back to what made you great in the first place, which was going with the old school type of coaches.
Great analogy. I doubt that Pete Carroll gives you as much diarrhea, but yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Well, you don't know it. The amount of gum that he chews. Gum can give you diarrhea, Derek.
Is that true?
Yeah, look it up. Bubble yum.
Yeah, he does love his gum.
It's bubble yum. I looked it up. His favorite type of gum. It's bubble yum at the top, but he also talks about juicy fruit. Juicy fruit don't last long at all.
Well, Sean Payton is big on juicy fruit. I remember him in it. Have you seen that America's Game yet?
No.
Oh yeah, he needs like sticks and sticks and sticks of gum. He actually has a coach like always have them. And I remember like in one mic'd up, he he actually puts one in his mouth and he's so pissed off during a game. He yells at one of his coaches, goes, he spits it out. That's fucking double mint. All right. I told you, juicy fruit, always juicy fruit.
Oh, that's right. I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know if Pete Carroll would be like that, but look, man.
No, he's not gonna be like that.
The one thing that I noticed about Carroll, because you're not supposed to, I don't know what it was with the Seahawks. Maybe it was because Richard Sherman was doing all the talking, or Russell Wilson kind of felt disingenuous, and we'll get to that in a second. But there was something that wasn't really likable about the Seahawks. I guess it's because they won and they kind of rubbed your face in it. And the thing that I noticed about Carroll, though, and the thing I've always said is he was always the Seahawks' number one fan. Like, he was always on the sideline, like going crazy. And Antonio Pierce, to me, I keep on bringing it back to him, but God, it's just every camera shot you cut to the sideline, he's kind of just standing there. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like he's conferring with his coordinators on what they're going to do next. He kind of just looks like he's standing there watching the game. And I think even though he's going to be the oldest coach in NFL history, you say he's 73, he's turning 74 in September. So he'll be 74 like week 3. But you're going to have a guy that's much more charismatic on the sideline. And I think that's something that the Raiders need. Now, what are they going to do to build the roster? That is the next question, and why I mentioned Russell Wilson. We'll get to that in a second. I'm sure you saw that report from Jeff Howe. Sources are telling him, or at least a source is telling him, Russell Wilson could be a name to watch because they have mended fences. They are now back on good terms. Russell Wilson to the Raiders. A lot of people are already generating those AI images of him in a Raiders jersey. When you first saw that, what do you think?
I wanted no part of it last year because I thought that the Raiders were going to get a quarterback and in the draft. And the perception of Russell Wilson was at an all-time low because of the way he played in Denver and like the weird Subway commercials and everything. So I was against it. This time around, with having the 6th overall pick, and you don't know where you're going to get quarterback-wise, and Pete knows Russ very well, I'm not opposed to it. I don't hate it. It could get you to be a little bit competitive again. If it's in the right scheme, it can't be like how he looked in Denver where he's calling the shots and he's running the offense and he's got his own office. Like, I don't want that again.
Right.
Now, the thing that I do remember with Pete, though, once that they traded Russell Wilson away, was that Pete would kind of throw digs at Russell Wilson in the media where, remember that one time he was talking about Geno Smith and he was like, it's nice to have a quarterback that has a wristband on the field and everything.
Right.
And Russ kind of took exception to that. But, yeah, I mean, if they're cool with each other, I wouldn't be opposed to that. And I think that might be likely because from everything that I read, it sounds like Russell Wilson and Arthur Smith did not get along in Pittsburgh. And I know
you don't even have to read anything. You could just see what Arthur Smith said before their playoff game. Like he kind of was insinuating that he wanted to go with Justin Fields or at least play him more than they have been. I think that was also a little salary type of move too.
Yeah, I also think that I mean, it sounds like Arthur Smith wants a quarterback that could run in his offense, and Justin Fields was definitely more conducive for that. So we'll see what happens. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a QB carousel thing going on where you could see Russell Wilson with the Raiders, maybe wants to leave Pittsburgh because he's reunited with Pete. It also depends on the offensive coordinator. And, if the Jets release Aaron Rodgers, maybe do you think Rodgers is an upgrade over Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh right now?
I think he would be, yeah.
Yeah. And Mike Tomlin and him have a good relationship. That's one team I can see. Like, I can't see Aaron Rodgers playing football once he's cut from the Jets, or if he's cut by the Jets. I would assume he's going to be. But the one team where I'm like, that kind of makes sense is Pittsburgh, but they'd have to, improve the receiving core around him. I don't know if he get along with George Pickens, but just as far as Pete, man, like, him and Jim Harbaugh having the rivalry again, that'll be fun.
It's like watching a sequel with like a movie that's come out like 10 or 15 years later, and guys are a little more older, a little more gray, and you're like, God, it's just been a while.
Dude, this is basically I never saw the movie and nor did I want to, but what was that boxing movie with De Niro and Stallone? Remember that one that came out? It was supposed to be like
Oh yeah,
it was supposed to be like Raging Bull versus Rocky, but it was like just two old guys fighting.
that's right. Oh my God, I forgot they even made. I got to look that up. That's gonna bother me.
Speaking of which, remind me for pop culture catch up. We got to watch this Robert De Niro trailer. It's just ridiculous.
Grudge match. Oh my
Grudge
God,
match.
the
Yeah.
AFC West is grudge match.
What do with all of them? Like, yes, like Tacky was asking, is this by far the oldest head coaches in the league? Yeah, all of them are above 60. I think Andy Reid 65, Sean Payton 61, 62, Jim Harbaugh's in that age range as well.
Jim
There's Pete.
Harbaugh is 61, and he's the one that just had a hip replacement and heart surgery,
And he's the youngest.
and he's one of the youngest there. Yeah,
Good Lord. Just the division of grumpy old men. And actually, none of them are grumpy. Besides probably Sean Payton. He's probably the grumpiest out of all of them.
This is what we're calling the AFC West from now on.
The grumpy old men.
It is the grumpy old men grudge match division. I love it.
But I mean, Pete's a proven winner. You look at like 18 seasons in the league, only 4 losing seasons. Like, God, he goes all the way back to 1994 with the Jets with the fake spike game where Dan Marino threw the touchdown pass. Then was the guy that preceded Bill Belichick with the Patriots, went to USC. We all know about that and the dominance there. Was it 3 national champions? Oh, no, 2. He won 2 national championships, one shared with LSU, beat down Oklahoma, then lost to Texas. And then, his Seattle reign was, incredible. So, yeah, I do wonder what coaches will bring along. If I had to guess right now, Gus Bradley's out there, and Gus Bradley was right there when the Legion of Boom started, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's defensive coordinator. If they go the usual route of Pete Carroll guys, I know Raider fans will not be happy, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a Shane Waldron or Darrell Bevel or any of those guys. However, a unique name I would be down with is Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly was in the mix last year to get the OC job from Antonio Pierce. And I believe Pete's and Chip's paths crossed a little bit in college when they coached against each other when Pete was at USC and Chip Kelly was at Oregon. Maybe it was more so when Chip was coaching the 49ers and Pete was with the Seahawks. But that's a name I wouldn't be opposed to. But yeah, I just think that this is a move that, as I said, establishes culture, is going to bring positivity, is going to have accountability and respectability, and also just having a coach knowing what the fuck he's doing, and just starting something where a team's going to be competitive and not just, all right, well, we're 8-9 one season and then we're 3-14 the next. Like, this needs to be the start of something where we're continuously being a competitive team. So
For sure.
that's why I think it's a good move. Is it a long-term move? No. Eventually they need to find the coach that's going to be there for many years. But instead of going the usual route of, the Josh McDaniels or John Gruden of, offensive play callers, which I lean in that direction more. This is just to establish a culture and winning again.
Yeah. And let's not forget, a guy like Sam Darnold is even still out there. And
yeah,
Pat H in the chat, a quote from his girl's mom, Raider season ticket holder from 95 till they left. I'd be more excited if we had a quarterback, an offensive line, a running back, and a wide receiver he could work with. Definitely a good coach, though. Our 4th on the payroll now. I'll say this. I'm not saying this is what's going to get you back into the playoffs or get you to the playoffs, or this is going to get you to the Super Bowl and have you competing to win the AFC West. But they do have Jackson Powers Johnson, Colton Miller, and DJ Glaze along the offensive line. I think they could find another a guard this offseason. Quarterback wise, if you have Russell Wilson, I'd feel a little bit better about that rather than say Gardner Minshew. But I wouldn't be feeling terribly great about that. Like, it would just be, yeah, all right, cool. It's a little bit of an upgrade. And as far as wide receiver, I know DK Metcalf's name has been floated around, but if they don't get a quarterback at 6, let's just say Cam and Shador are taken. I don't know what the Titans mean by generational player, by the way. Like, I wonder if they're actually going to go with a quarterback or go with Will Levis. Like, there could be a chance that Shador drops to 6. But if those two guys are gone and you're giving me wide receivers, I think a trade for DK Metcalf could happen, though it seems DK to the Chargers is a thing that could happen as well. I don't know if Pete Carroll would sway that. But also dropping to 6, Mel Kiper had it in his latest mock draft. It wouldn't be the worst thing if they got McMillan, Tataroa McMillan from Arizona. I was watching some McMillan tape earlier, and no, he's not the fastest guy, but God, he's got a huge wide receiver frame, and that guy can just high point the ball. Like, that's the type of player where you could just throw it to him and just hope he's down there and he can make a catch. Kind of like a Mike Williams type. He also can run after the catch as well. Not the most crisp route runner I've ever seen in my life, but I wouldn't be mad if they took him at 6. And McMillan, I will say this, I think like his quarterback at Arizona, they played together since like Pop Warner. So like they've been playing together for a really long time. I would be a little hesitant, like if, him having him work with another quarterback, like what if it doesn't work out? But like he looked pretty good. So I'm just saying, if you rolled out an offense, I don't know the answer at running back. I'll say that. I do not know what they're going to do at running back. They really
Marshawn Lynch again.
Oh God, they've really set themselves back with that one. But I would not be totally pissed if they rolled out Russell Wilson, either Metcalf and McMillan with Myers on the other side, and then Bowers and Mayer in there, along with Trey Tucker in the slot, who's a big speed guy.
Yeah, I mean,
you could do worse than that.
No, you definitely could, but yeah, he's definitely gonna have to find the talent around here, but or talent around the Raiders. But I think that you could find a good running back. Like that's just later on in the draft or free agency, you could find somebody.
Right.
DK Metcalf is a name that makes a lot of sense. He's on the last year of his contract. Also Tyler Lockett is on the last year of his deal too. I don't know if they want to keep DK because he's younger and let Tyler Lockett go, but Carroll Lockett's also older and kind of serves the same purpose as a Trey Tucker, but different and doesn't have the same speed. So yeah, they have a lot of decisions to make as far as the personnel. And yeah, I think that Russell Wilson, I can just see it right now, Steven, him wearing silver and black. He's got all the slogans he ever needs, like "Let's ride in Denver" or whatever he said with Pittsburgh.
He's going to use all
holding that
Raiders.
football.
He's going to use all the Raiders slogans, dude.
Just win, baby.
He is going to be
Raider
just
Nation.
win. He is going to be just win, baby guy. Oh
yeah.
no,
he's going to be a huge just win, baby guy. Like,
oh no, that's how he's going to
every
tag out
press conference. Every press conference.
Stop it! No. All right, thanks, Tracy. All right, thanks, Tracy. Just win, baby. Oh
yep.
No.
After they win, but after they lose, is he going to say the same thing?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You can't say just win, baby, after a loss. He probably just goes, "All right, guys, committed to excellence. Let's keep it going."
Oh, jeez. Oh my God.
We'll see if it happens.
The flame that burns brightest is the will to win.
Yep. He'll definitely. He's got, dude. Oh God, Al Davis would love him. God, he's a walking billboard for them.
He is, dude.
But yeah, man, we'll see what happens here. And yes, we didn't bring this up because it didn't happen last podcast. But John Spytek is officially the Raiders GM. Kind of was wondering when Liam Cohen pulled a Josh McDaniels and left Tampa Bay. I was wondering, God, is he going to snag him now? But yeah, John Spytek is the man in charge with Tom Brady. God, that name is so fitting. But yeah, former Michigan man. And people are saying that whoever the big guy is from Michigan, the defensive tackle, that's who maybe John Spytek has his eye on. Yeah. But yes, this is a GM with the Bucks. He's been there for a long time. He'll probably get the job done. And it's hard to say. Like, he seems like a smart dude. Don't ever know with personnel guys. Tom Telesco was an established name in this league, and I don't think he had a bad draft whatsoever. It's just he didn't come away with a quarterback. So is that going to be the priority for Spytek? I don't know if that needs to be. I think maybe they can just kind of they're building something up. So this may take some time, and that's why they, maybe get a veteran in Russell Wilson, and then see your guy Jackson Dart down the line. But I think it's a good pairing. The thing that I tweeted out that Raider fans were kind of like, "Oh, Derek, stop it." If the whole point of this thing was to have a union, a marriage between GM and coach, then I just thought it was kind of a weird situation where, all right, you're going to name Spytek the GM and then Pete Carroll comes in. Because it doesn't seem like, I don't know, John Spytek's a younger man. Pete Carroll's a much older man. I don't know if they have any relationship. It's not like, I don't think Pete Carroll handpicked John Spytek to be his guy. So I think you could have kept Tom Telesco and Pete Carroll would have been fine with that. But they did this to make it appealing for Ben Johnson, and it didn't happen. So I totally get that. But I don't know. I just think that I think Tom Telesco was fired prematurely, and you did it to make the job more appealing. But I don't know. I mean, maybe John Spytek's a better evaluation, or evaluates talent way better than Tom Telesco does. So
I
I don't
think
know. We'll see.
I think what John Spytek does, and I think this is what's made the Buccaneers slightly successful, is he doesn't really take too many chances when it comes to draft selections. Like if a guy is highly touted, been highly recruited going into college, and he has all the makings of an NFL player, I think he normally just goes with that guy. Like just look at all the draft picks that they've acquired. I mean, you got Vernon Hargreaves, Devin White, Tristan Wirfs, Bucky Irving, Vita Vea, Antoine. I think wasn't Antoine Winfield a draft pick by them too?
Yeah, he was.
Like it's just, I think he knows what he's doing from that standpoint. Is he Pete Carroll's guy? I don't know, but I think Pete Carroll kind of strikes me as the type of head coach who can kind of get along with, I don't know, pretty much any figure within the NFL. That'd be really fascinating though, if there was some sort of disconnect. It's just, I've kind of looked at it as eras, Derek. We've been going through the Reggie McKenzie, Jack Del Rio era, which was successful for the most part, but then kind of crumbled. Then you had the John Gruden and Mike Mayock era. It's like, all right, we get these two charming television guys who love football. That sort of worked out, but not really. And then you had the Josh McDaniels, we'll just call it the McZiegler era, where you're trying to start the Patriot way. No, didn't really work either.
No.
It feels like this is kind of their plan.
Whoa! You glossed over the Piers Telesco era.
Oh God, I don't even want to think about that. The Piers Telesco era was just one to forget. But this
came
one
and went, really.
This one is interesting. This one gives me at least a little more hope. I don't know. Like I think we try to over evaluate these general managers as if we know exactly what each one's going to do. Look, Spytek has had a good history in Tampa Bay. I think he could carry that over into Las Vegas. We know what Pete Carroll's done.
Yeah.
It may have been their plan B, but I think it's a solid plan B option compared to whatever else they could have gone with.
Yeah, I mean, just like the Jacksonville Jaguars firing Trent Baalke, like you got to make the job appealing to coaches that are like, okay, I got to make it work with Tom Telesco. I don't know him. But Pete, yeah, like you said, he didn't know John Schneider when they started together in 2010, and they became great friends and worked together great and, found talent everywhere. They built up that Legion of Boom primarily through the draft. So, yeah, I think they can get it done together. It's just going to take some time, and that's something that Pete doesn't have is a lot of time. But he'll establish something.
What the hell? Come on, what are you talking about?
I'm just saying.
He doesn't have a lot of time
to coach a football team. Eventually, he wants to take care of his grandkids and his children. I'm not saying he's going to die. I'm just saying.
That's what it sounded like, dude.
Pete Carroll is, trying to avoid grim death down the line here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, he's like, the Tales from the Crypt guy. No. At the end of the no, I mean, like he's just not going to coach forever, is what I'm saying. That did come out bad, yeah. Sorry. Yes, he's a very young 73.
He hasn't got that much time left. Oh my!
I'm just saying, yeah, like he's not going to coach forever. So yeah, eventually, yes, you need to figure out who the long-term coach is going to be. But
God,
yes, this is good for the here and now. I don't hate it.
No, for the next. Okay, so let's just.
For the next 3 years.
I need to get over that. So what
He's coaching this team on his deathbed, Steven.
What to you would be the success for next season then? Like, where do you think they need to be? Is there like a win-loss total they need to be at? Do they just need to be competitive? Do they like, are there certain factors that need to be at play for them to lose games? Like, what do we need to see next year so we feel, because it's like we've said all along, it's not going to be a Super Bowl year. It's not going to be a playoff year. It's not even guaranteed. So like, what would be like a successful season next year?
I'm going to hold that answer until I see the roster, but they just need to be competitive. They need to win a divisional game. They need to know that they can compete with the likes of the Chiefs and the Chargers and Broncos. They need to be, show something on offense, show some life on offense. They need to have good quarterback play. There's a lot of things that need to go into this season, but I'm going to wait until we see actually who's on this team before I say anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, like with Pete Carroll, I would expect them to be, 6-11, 7-10, 8-9, that range.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see.
Something like that. I guess it does depend on the rosters. I think also what a 3-year deal is telling me is they think, I mean, it's a solid contract. It's a pretty typical contract, I think, for head coaches, 3 years with a 4th-year option. You don't want to give the guy just a year and say, all right, you got a year to prove yourself. Like, you do want to give them some time. But what that's also telling me is, look, man, I know that the Chiefs, the Chargers, and Broncos are on the up and up, but the Chiefs' reign can't last forever. And it could. But the Chargers and Broncos, they have been getting better here. But I think what it's telling you is that by the time that this contract is up for Carroll, they're going to have something in place to where once he's done, once that contract is up, not until he'll be alive by the time the contract's up, in his last days. No, but like by the time his contract's up, they have something in place to where they can be at least a playoff team. Like, I think that's really the success there. Like, I think that's what the 3-year deal is telling you.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated, man. This has me intrigued again. Again,
it's got you feeling nicey.
It's got me feeling nicey. It's got me feeling real nicey. But I also like, I'm so no problem with Antonio Pierce, the guy, but man, I was so down when it seemed like they were going to keep him around. I'm like, are you serious? Like, next year, you're just going to let him walk probably mid-season because your team's not doing anything? Like, they needed a new direction, and they finally got it with Carroll. By the way, with Spy Tech, I keep on thinking of 40-year-old virgin. Smart Tech. Yeah. This your boy? Yeah. We rep the same Spy Tech.
This your boy right here? Okay. I'm going to come back and clap both y'all up. Both y'all up. Love that scene.
We went in sync there. That was pretty sweet.
That was pretty good. My roommates, my buddies I was talking to you about, the guys I made the movie with, when they were living in L.A., they live down the street from where that Smart Tech where they filmed the movie.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty badass.
Wow. Quick aside.
You weren't impressed by that at all.
I mean, it's just down the street from a movie location. Cool. Yeah. But maybe they saw Steve Carell biking down that street or something.
No.
But my dad, when he was retired for a couple of years and was just trying to do anything, I think he tried being like a financial advisor once, but he also, and this was before 40-year-old virgin came out, he tried to get people to enlist him and sell things on eBay for them. I am not kidding.
Yeah, that's one of the most confusing parts of that movie, because I don't even understand it either.
We didn't get it. We did. You're so what? You just take people and you sell their shit on eBay because they can't do it?
Listen, I just want to take these moon boots home so I can wear them. No, I know, but you can't buy it in the store here. You have to buy it online. I'm just showing you things that you could buy on eBay. I don't think you understand. I'm going to give you my cash.
Moon boots. Just holding them up.
I just want to wear these so I can put them on and I can dance in them.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Jonah Hill.
Yep.
But anyway, that was just a random thing. Like it was just the exact same time as 40-Year-Old Virgin came out. I'm like, isn't that what Dad wanted to do? Like, the hell?
Okay. I mean, it's crazy this week how much like coaching news there was, and yet like I think very little was talked about the conference championships. So we'll get to the games a little bit here, but just real quick, there's so many dominoes that happened this week. We'll get to the Liam Cohen thing, but Robert Saleh is officially back. He's going to be defensive coordinator of the 49ers. It was announced last night, right after the Brian Schottenheimer news with the Cowboys. How convenient. And yeah, Robert Saleh is back with the 49ers. He'll be on the sideline doing his Xerxes thing, screaming. And yeah, I think it's good. I'm surprised that it was basically, it sounds like he just told the Niners, I'll come back to you guys. I'll be DC. Just let me know about these. Let me figure out these head coaching jobs. Interviewed for him. They waited for him. They, I guess, tried to find backup plans. Pete Carroll, I guess, was a backup plan, but I don't know how legitimate that was. But
it would have been 30 years to the season that
Yeah.
he would have last been the Niners defensive coordinator.
And last time he was a defensive coordinator just anywhere. But yeah, Robert Saleh's back. The backup plan was going to be, I guess, Brandon Staley, and fans would have hated that. And other guys got scooped up this week. Lou Anarumo goes to the Colts. Dennis Allen's going to go to the Bears, it sounds like. Who else? Al Golden went to the Cincinnati Bengals. That's about it, if I remember, defense coordinator wise. But yeah, they got their guy. Jeff Ulbrich went to the Falcons. But yeah, I think it's a great move. The 49ers need that, since Saleh left, D'Amico was great, but since that time, they've always tried to find somebody like him, and everyone's paled in comparison. It's all like same thing with Pete Carroll. Robert Saleh is a good motivator, and he's going to have the scheme in place, but it's also the personnel. Like, I remember Niner fans hating Robert Saleh in 2017 and 2018.
They did.
Hated him.
Yeah, they wanted him fired.
Yep. I remember our guy, Albie Filus, who produced Damon Bruce's show, hated Robert Saleh.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, like at D Ford and
Nick Bosa,
and they're a hell of a defense. And everybody's like, wow, Robert Saleh's, God, he's a defensive genius. I think he's a really good head coach. I mean, sorry, he could be a good head coach, but I think he's a really good defensive coach. And you saw the drop-off when he was fired from the Jets and how the Jets defense played. However, Robert Saleh does need talent around him. So it's a good move. It's a good stepping stone, but at the same time, they need to upgrade at pass rusher and defensive tackle. So, yeah, they got the guy they need, but they also need the players as well.
They also need to get Dre Greenlaw back, which I'm sure they will. But if you're going to continue to do this scheme, which Kyle Shanahan seems to love, where you're just constantly rushing for and blitzing as little as not any team in the league, because I think the Chargers blitzed fewer times than any team in the league last year. But if you're going to keep on running this same 4-3 thing where you're just relying on the linebackers in coverage and you're relying on them on the run, I think they need to get Dre Greenlaw back. I don't think that's top priority, because you do need a guy in the middle. I'm also really curious to see what happens at corner. With Charvarius Ward walking, Diamador Lenore is awesome.
Don't say it, Steven.
What?
Please don't say you think they're going to trade for Sauce Gardner or anything.
I wasn't going to say any of that. What?
Okay. All right. Good. I see some 49er fans already doing that. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, 49er fans make up a lot of trades. All right. It's fine. They just think anyone's going to go to their team because, well, San Francisco's a great organization, and who wouldn't want to go there? Devondre Campbell, I guess, but that's beside
yeah.
But I want to see like what Lenore looks like being a true number one corner. It happens with certain guys, like even Sauce. Sauce like finally. Like Lenore was amazing last year, right? He was amazing. But even a guy like Sauce Gardner, who was tremendous his rookie year, had kind of a sophomore slump. And I'm not saying Lenore's going to have like a sophomore slump, but I'm just really interested to see what he's like as a true number one corner. And if Renardo Green is a solid number two option, I guess that's who you'd be going with, right?
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think Diabador Lenore would be more of that nickel, and yeah, Renardo Green would be that guy. But yeah, I think that they got young DBs. They probably need a third guy in that rotation. But yeah, I think right now the most as far as like each set of the defense, the defensive line, linebackers, and the secondary, I'm probably most confident in the secondary right now.
Mm.
They need to get Dre Greenlaw back. They need to get a third linebacker in that group. And yeah, they need to get most pieces on the defensive line. Leonard Floyd could stay on that team, but I'd rather have him as the third down guy. And you need to get a young pass rusher opposite Nick Bosa. You also need to get a young defensive tackle in the middle there. I wouldn't bring back, Javon Kinlaw or Solomon Thomas. Their time is done with the 49ers. I think that like DJ Jones wouldn't be a bad option. Yeah, I just think that the defensive line is where it's at. They once they get that group established, they'll be fine defensively.
Yeah, and look, Saleh's a good coach. I don't really see any problem with the move at all.
No.
So
now how do we get there at Robert Saleh? That's the funny thing. So, whatever day it was, Liam Cohen, I guess, was the favorite to be the Jacksonville Jaguars head coach, and that's when 49er fans were like, okay, we can breathe easy now because Robert Saleh most likely will not get that job. And then the next morning we wake up and find out that Liam Cohen withdrew his name from the Jacksonville Jaguars head coaching position. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to give him a new contract to make him offensive coordinator once again. And he was going to be one of the highest paid coordinators in all of the land. And then a couple hours later,
Midas is silver.
All of Midas is silver. And then a couple hours later, Trent Baalke is fired from the Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's funny enough because a couple weeks earlier, I think we played the clip on the show where a reporter asks Shad Khan, if you bring in a head coach and they're not cool with the executives and the guys in charge here, what would you do? And Shad Khan was like, well, you talk it through with them. And if a change needs to be made, then a change needs to be made. When Trent Baalke not sitting next to him, but on the same Zoom call with him.
Yeah, he's like where you are compared to me
exactly.
on this podcast right now.
So then Trent Baalke just sits there and goes, oh, apparently I don't check off a box then. So then, yeah, they fire Trent Baalke, and immediately I go, well, they're going to go try to get Liam Cohen back. Because all the reports out there were that Liam Cohen was not cool with Trent Baalke being the GM. It was kind of similar to years ago when they fired Urban Meyer. Originally, the Jacksonville Jaguars offered Byron Leftwich the head coaching job, and he didn't want to work with Trent Baalke. He wanted Adrian Wilson, who's got into trouble lately. But he turned down the job, Byron Leftwich, and he might be kicking himself because I don't know if he's going to come back to the NFL. But, yeah, so when I saw that news, I was like, they're going to try to go after Liam Cohen again. And some Jacksonville Jaguars reporters, I heard some interviews that, my dad and Greg Silver did with Jaguars reporters, and they were like, no, that's overblown. Nothing to do with Trent Baalke being, in the way of Liam Cohen. And I was like, I'm not buying that for a second. And so, yeah, I thought that they would go after Liam Cohen. And sure enough, not a day later, Liam Cohen tells Todd Bowles he's going to interview with the Jaguars one more time. Didn't tell, though, his main boss with the Glazer family and Jason Light, and has a secret meeting when they try to contact him all day to sign the contract to become offensive coordinator again. And instead, he flies off to Jacksonville, meets with them, and takes the job. He's going to be head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, some people are put off by this. It's not like the Josh McDaniels thing to me where, they're going to have a press conference. He's announced as head coach of the Colts. And then the last second goes, I don't want to do this anymore. Jim Irsay took a shit in my house for way too long. I don't feel comfortable with this guy. He's a freak. This is just like, okay, I gave you a stipulation of something that I didn't like. You took care of it. I can't be a offensive coordinator forever. So, yeah, I'll come back and be the Jaguars coach. Now, some people say Liam Cohen could have waited and eventually could have been head coach of the Buccaneers, but who knows how long that's going to take. So, yeah, I say good for Liam Cohen. Is it shady? A little bit, but I think Niner fans should be happy. It's the whole reason why Robert Saleh is back to the Niners.
Really is like a Coen Brothers flick, isn't it?
Not really.
Everything's a little subtle, there's a little comedy in between because
A
it's
little
funny
bit.
that
Well,
this all happened.
I'm
Because I don't care. Everyone can call it shady or whatever you want, but this is hilarious. Guy signs as an offense, like all this shady shit going down, and it's all led by a guy with a funky mustache,
that's true.
just like the Coen Brothers flick.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I guess the Buccaneers were trying to get a hold of Liam Cohen, and they were like, "Oh, brother, where art thou?"
It's a stretch. It
Yeah.
was a stretch. I tried to get a Coen Brothers.
Yeah,
thing
I
in, but
know.
yeah,
Mine was as well.
it was very shady. It was, but I think it's funny. I think it's pretty funny. Like I just the Jaguars are such a poorly run organization. They have been, and I know they built up a playoff team, but
do you give them props though, Steven? Because they saw something that was preventing them from getting their coach, and in the end, they were like, you know what? Let's just get rid of him.
I do, but they shouldn't have kept him in the first place. I just think that, and with Liam Cohen going back to the Buccaneers, being the highest paid coordinator, and then just shifting gears and telling just a humble guy like Todd Bowles, no, I can't come back to you. I'm sorry. I'm leaving. I just think that's funny.
Yeah, no, it's a funny situation. Surprisingly, though, yesterday I did not see this happening. I didn't know if he was going to get a head coaching job this time around because the offense wasn't as good as last year. But just to flat out fire Bobby Slowick, I was like, what the hell are they doing? I didn't think anything that Bobby Slowick did was the reason why the Texans weren't as good as a year ago. They still were a playoff team, and their offensive line was terrible. They had injuries. Their receiving core, CJ Stroud has sophomore slump, but I think this is a huge mistake by the Texans' part. I don't know who they have their eye on, but I would have kept Bobby Slowick, and he was probably going to leave eventually to become a head coach, but I don't like that move at all. And if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm like, all right, let's go get Bobby Slowick. I'm not waiting any longer. Like that's the guy we need.
This is kind of like the same move for me as like Kellen Moore with the Cowboys, where didn't they let him go? Didn't they just randomly fire him? And then he just went to Philadelphia, and now look at him. Like I saw something where it's like Bobby Slowick should have taken a head coaching job. Like this is what you risk when you become an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
It's like no, I think Houston. I agree with you. I think Houston here is making a total mistake. Like I don't know. Like with all like you laid out everything with the offensive line and the injuries. Those were huge. Maybe they saw something in his offense that they called where CJ Stroud just wasn't a fan. Maybe CJ Stroud had something to do with it.
Maybe.
I don't know. But it feels like it's a little premature. And it reminds me of the Kellen Moore situation, like where Bobby Slowick can probably thrive somewhere else. I think anyone should pick. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't be mad if the Raiders picked him up as an offensive coordinator. Like, you'd never know.
That would be sweet. And I heard my pops yesterday being like, well, maybe they can go get Bobby Slowick to be offensive coordinator. After you just openly said that Clay Kubiak is going to get the job, I want to do that. But if
if your dad interviews Robert Saleh, he's going to shave his head bald.
Just to be trendy with I don't when it comes to doing these interviews on live stream, I like to wear the hats. But also my next phase is I'm going to become the people I interview.
It'd be amazing.
So like just you see 1 second he's like, gotta holla for Saleh. Gonna put the bald cap on. The holla for Saleh thing was terrible. Absolutely terrible.
A bald cap.
I could see that.
Instead of putting on like the Kyle Shanahan flat brim hat, he just puts on a bald cap.
He just puts a bald cap on. By the way, I need to send you the song I made yesterday. I put Ja Rule's holla holla to my dad. Holla for Saleh.
Is that what he said on the air?
Oh yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway, he can do no wrong, Derek. You know that I think that about him. He can do no wrong, Mr.
Oh, he could do plenty wrong, my friend. When he's your father, he could do plenty wrong. But yeah, I think that Bobby Slowick will find a job soon. I think Tampa Bay would be perfect for him because I think eventually, if I'm the Buccaneers, no offense to Todd Bowles, but you're like, God, we see these offensive coordinators keep leaving. Maybe we should just fire Todd Bowles and make this guy the head coach. And I think that eventually could happen. And I think that, as I said, Chip Kelly would be interesting with the Raiders and Pete Carroll. I wonder if Chip Kelly's in the mix for the Texans. I don't know if CJ Stroud knows him very well, but they just won a championship at Ohio State. CJ Stroud's from Ohio State, so we'll see. And then last night, right at God, was it like 6:45? So that would be Dallas time. That would be 8:45. A good old Friday news dump for the Dallas Cowboys with Brian Schottenheimer being named head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, this one is not surprising because this was kind of in the works for the last couple days here. Like Vegas had this pretty early on, like he was going to be the favorite to win the job. And there was rumors about Deion Sanders and Jason Witten and
there you go.
I know. I'm saying it slowly now. And Kellen Moore and all these guys knew. Like I think Deion never wanted to interview because he knew the deal. He was going to have to be Jerry's puppet. And Kellen Moore probably going to have a lot of opportunities. Same thing with Bobby Slowick. So maybe it's best to wait. But Brian Schottenheimer. I know Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know him personally, but I've known him since he was offensive coordinator with the Jets. He was all over Hard Knocks with Mark Sanchez. And he was a big personality. But I thought back then he was going to get a head coaching job. Now, like it's been 15 years since the time that I've had facial hair the last time to now Brian Schottenheimer being a head coach. Like, I don't know, like you hear, like you see like the press release, not the press release, but the quote from Jerry Jones. Brian's been known as a lifelong assistant. Not anymore, baby. Now he's known as head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And everyone takes that as like an insult. It's like, he's been a lifelong assistant. I didn't think it was that bad of a thing to say, but Jerry knows what he's doing by having this news break at 8:45 his time.
Yeah.
So no one talks about it. No one ridicules it. And that I'm sure like Robert Saleh was waiting around being like, okay, I need to wait till I don't get the Jacksonville job. I need to wait till I don't get the Dallas Cowboy job. I need to wait till I don't get the Raider job. And then, okay, cool. I'm defensive coordinator again. Tell everybody. Yeah, to me, this move reeks of an old Al Davis move where you don't have many people clamoring for the job. I'm sure that Kellen Moore told him thanks, but no thanks. I'm sure Deion was like, I can't do it this time, Jerry. And Jason Witten would be like,
your Deion impression just gets worse, dude.
I don't think it's that bad.
That was really bad.
Jerry,
how was that?
Jerry, I can't do it this time, baby. A little better.
Did Jerry Jones call him when he was laying in bed, just waking up?
That's how Deion talks. Jerry, it's prime. I can't come to Dallas this time. Anyway,
I'm staying silent on that one.
Okay, so they went to Brian Schottenheimer, and and this is kind of like
Jerry calls him and he said, "Jerry, it's prime.
Jerry, it's prime. Hello, Deion. Yes, it's me, Jerry.
I know, Deion. Deion, I called you. I know. I was the one who called you. I know it's prime.
But it'd probably be the reverse too. It's like, hello, who's this? Deion, it's Jerry, owner of the Dallas Cowboys. You might see me on Landman. Anyway, so they hire Brian Schottenheimer because it's kind of like a Jason Garrett move, going from Wade Phillips to Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Dak was like, I kind of just want to roll with the same offense we have, and Schottenheimer's there. I have a good relationship with him. He doesn't call the plays though, so he's going to do that now. It's going to be interesting. And the backlash from this is a ton. Everybody hates this move. Yeah, to me, this is kind of reminiscent of back in the day with Al Davis, where he was at the end,
right?
And he didn't just want a head coach; he wanted somebody he could control. Al Davis always wanted to be the face of the organization.
Yeah,
so that's why he went to the likes of Art Shell and Lane Kiffin, and this kind of reeks of that a little bit too. So
that's the word I'm using, Derek, and it's the word I thought of when I heard of the hire. It's harmless. It's just a harmless move for Jerry. Like the Deion thing, the reason I thought Deion was going to be the Cowboys' head coach is because I think Jerry did want them to be talked about as much as possible. I mean,
Right.
even though the Cowboys are already in the headlines, but I think you might have seen it a little bit last season where guys on the national talk shows are like, why are we still talking about the Cowboys? They're irrelevant right now.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the Dion thing was going to happen because that would put them back into relevancy. But at the end of the day, yeah, maybe he didn't want a guy who may have, I don't know, kind of usurped him, I guess, in terms of popularity and what he does with the team. Like Dion would come in and just say, that's my team now. Okay, that was terrible. But
wow.
I don't think he wanted that. So,
And you think mine's bad?
Yeah, that was really bad.
Yes, thank you, Jesse.
That was off the cuff.
Steven, you're the only one allowed to have bad impressions.
It's true. It's true. I'm gatekeeping bad impressions.
You are. Yeah, no, I think, but like, you also like, why not just stick with Mike McCarthy? Like, it's the same offense, and maybe it was just all about money. I don't know if the Joneses are clamoring for cash right now, but they got to pay Micah Parsons this offseason too. And yeah, maybe this also kind of feels a little bit like David Culley or Lovie Smith, where they're like, all right, let's just hire this guy for now, and then we'll wait for the guy we really want.
Yeah.
I don't know if Bill Belichick wants to be the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I can't imagine he wants to be. But maybe this is just like, all right, let's promote Brian, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, well, until Belichick gets a cooler of Duke's mayo dumped on him because he just won the Mayo Bowl, he's like, all right, I got to go back to the NFL. This is ridiculous.
God, I hope that happens. That'd be incredible.
I am praying for that. I think everyone in the world is praying for that.
Can you imagine that?
Well, North Carolina winning the Duke's Mayo Bowl would be all time.
Can you imagine that? Like the guy that's like, all right, I'm a CEO of Duke's Mayo, and Coach Belichick, we want to have you do the honor of being doused in mayonnaise. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But sir, it's tradition. No, we're not doing that.
Either that or the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Then he sees like the wild berry Pop-Tart humping the ref. Okay, I got to get out of here. This isn't me.
Yeah, I think that I think Belichick sees he's got to see like Pete Carroll get a job and be like, all right, I could do the North Carolina thing for one season, and then I'm going back to the NFL. Yeah. But I don't know if it would be the Dallas Cowboys. Also, I will say this. I do feel kind of bad for Brian Schottenheimer. I do.
Why?
Because he's just a coach, and he got an opportunity. And who are we all to say, like, he doesn't deserve this? Like, to be completely honest, I kind of related to me a little bit, where everyone's like, he's not qualified to be head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. What, Marty Schottenheimer's son? Some fucking Nepo baby? Please. And I'm like, that's kind of how people feel about me taking over for Tom and doing the show. So I kind of sympathize with him a little bit. And, I'm going to, like, I know the deal. Like, I'm going to do my damnedest every day to do the best show possible. But also, did KMBR listen to this podcast and be like, oh, man, we got to fire Tom and put Derek on? No, I'm cheap. I'm a cheaper option. That's what this is with Brian Schottenheimer. So I get it. And I also kind of like, he's going to do his damnedest, and we'll see if he does a good job. But people are going to, rip this to shreds. I get that.
People also have just opinions on everything. I mean, I know this is just your opinion, man, where all opinions are welcome, but some can be really stupid and misinformed.
True.
And I think, or uninformed, whatever. I think a lot of people just have that opinion, especially on coaches. Like NFL fans more than any other sport. Actually, and kind of NBA too, where actually every sport it's like this, where everyone has this. Yeah, I know. Jesse's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Everyone thinks they know everything about head coaches. Who's the right guy? Who's not the right guy? Where in reality, we don't know what's going to happen. And I think because Brian Schottenheimer's name hasn't been mentioned among these top head coaching candidates, we all think that he's going to be terrible and just, even worse than Mike McCarthy, whereas we don't really know. So I do think, people just give those opinions because they just want to talk, whereas they don't really know much about it. Like, I'd love to hear First Take talking about this move. Stephen A is going to say, oh, and he's going to come out walking in a cowboy hat. The Cowboys are back to being irrelevant. Okay, I need to stop with these impressions. It's really bad.
No, your Stephen A is better than your Dion.
Yeah, the Stephen A is really good when I commit to it. I wasn't really committing to it on that one. but he's gonna.
Well, he's more upset about. I want to know who are these sports writers not voting for Ichiro, and I know who Ichiro is because a couple years ago I called out Shohei Ohtani. He can't be the face of baseball with an interpreter, but I know who Ichiro is. Stand up, justify.
Yeah, it's ridiculous with that guy. We don't talk about baseball. We don't like baseball. Well, I'm going to comment on baseball.
By the way, I saw this clip today. Not like I'm looking for this show or anything, but you see him on Bill Maher, Stephen A. Smith?
No.
Oh my God. There's a reason why Trump decided to do this immigration law. I'm like, oh, okay, Jesus Christ, here we go.
Yeah, he's all over Fox News too. Yeah.
Interesting.
Look, man, that guy, I think if any of us had his confidence, we would get pretty far in life. That guy, say whatever you want about him, that guy has more confidence than anyone in sports media. He literally said the words on his show, on his radio show. If I was OJ's lawyer, I would have won that trial. I would have won that trial whole-handedly. I'm like, what the fuck? What?
You know, I mean, if he listened to me.
Yeah. I do like hearing him on random topics, though, kind of off the beaten path.
Just you watch, man. I would not be the least bit surprised if he becomes a politician with how much he's putting his his opinions out there when it comes to politics.
Zion Williamson, we need those legs spry.
Yeah. The economy right now is fat, like Zion. We got to trim it.
See Cam Newton on First Take?
Dude, well, that was making me crack up the other day where he was like, so we shouldn't hold Mark Andrews to the same accountability as we do to like the Fox lawsuit and Stephen A. What are you talking about? Yep. What is he talking about? Right
can we play it? We got
sure.
We got to play this. I mean, come on. This
might be my jackass of the week, just because this is a crazy analogy. Crazy analogy.
Go with the unpopular pick, but I want everybody to keep this same energy in other commodities, in politics, in entertainment, in sports.
It is sports.
No matter what it is. And we haven't been holding people to the same fire. So Mark Andrews, it's okay, bro. You ain't got to talk to nobody, because in other networks, there's lawsuits that's been out. We ain't heard nobody say nothing about that.
Hang on. Let's just, can we
Orlovsky's face.
Can we, yeah, there we go. That's all time.
And by the way, yeah, keep playing it, but I'll tell you when to pause.
Now we got other things that's coming up.
Okay, stop. Stephen A. knows exactly what he's talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He knows what he's talking about. He just doesn't want to get into it.
Yep, he knows exactly what he's talking about. And Dan Orlovsky he's not doing really well. He's not keeping a poker face there. Whoa.
When there's a Fox report that comes out of
look, he's got the Popeye look now.
We haven't heard anybody speak about anything or make any type of public announcement. Nobody has held Fox to that same thing. So why are we talking about making a big fuss about Mark Andrews if you're not going to keep that same energy across the board? That's what I'm saying.
But he's saying
in all different industries, people don't have to.
I just didn't understand what he was saying. That's all. I didn't know.
He's just saying in all different industries, people don't have to be held accountable and go in front of a mic right away. So
and listen, I fully.
Well,
good job by Molly. That could have been a dicey road with her.
And I'll say this, for all the things in that Fox report, Fox did release a statement saying they will comment further on this situation, but have declined to comment at this time. So they gave a non-comment comment. Also, what's funniest about that thing is Mark Andrews, I think, made an Instagram post like immediately after that went viral. So that was just a pointless point by old Cam Newton. And everyone's asking what he's wearing. What is he wearing? Dude, it's kind of like coming to accept the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Like, Cam's going to wear what he's going to wear. He's been doing this since he retired. And look, I'm not afraid. I'm not insecure about it. He's a very handsome man, so he can wear whatever he fucking wants, dude. He's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but what age do you like? Is it acceptable to wear the chain around the glasses?
After a while, it's got to stop.
Yeah.
You know, after a while,
that's an older look.
It is a little bit, but
yeah.
Look, man, Cam's he's very confident in his wardrobe.
He is, and he can wear whatever he wants. But I would advise him: TV careers don't last forever, my friend. And a lot of ESPN personalities have been fired and had to go to Fox. and you, sir, just burned a bridge. So if you love your podcast and don't want to go to TV again, cool. But this ESPN gig won't last forever.
We are going to see him on NFL Network anytime, sometime soon.
He might be a little too dicey for NFL Network.
You think so?
I think so. Gerald McCoy actually is doing a fantastic job at NFL Network. Love that guy.
Oh, Gerald McCoy is awesome, but let's just hang on. Let's get back to this is my favorite still. Besides like Adam Schefter yelling, hold on.
Orlovsky's face.
Just three of them. This is art. Where's the art but make it sports X account? Where's it at? Look at that. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great still image. And I was just waiting for Stephen A to be like, listen, I'm not getting into that. I don't get into people's business. I don't get into Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho.
What you saying?
I don't get into Shannon Sharp going live Instagram clapping them cheeks. I don't get into Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston doing their thing.
Jennifer Aniston.
That's a thing now, apparently.
What, Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston?
She had to like address it.
Really?
There's like a rumor, like it was on Twitter. It's stupid. It's not a real thing. But like, I guess Michelle Obama wasn't at Trump's inauguration. So people are like, oh, are they on the outs? And some people like look to Barack and Jennifer Aniston having a thing. I don't think it's legitimate.
Wow. So no one told you life was going to be this way.
Steven, come on.
What?
That's terrible.
What?
Just to do the Friends theme song?
What, dude?
What, dude? I'm not allowed to make a riff?
Yeah. Great jokes. I'm really funny.
Okay. Conference championship. Let's talk about these games. There's actual NFL games being played.
What?
Yeah. And it's going down tomorrow between the Commanders, the Manders, and the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't know if we need the music or not, Steven, because we can take our sweet time with these two games.
We don't need the music. No.
Okay. So Manders and Eagles, they played twice already this year, division opponents. This is the first time that a division matchup is in the conference championship since 2021 when the Niners and Rams played each other. And in both matches, Saquon Barkley ran all over the Washington Commanders. Right. I think the first time was like whatever it was. He averaged 148 yards in both meetings. The first time around, the Eagles offense kind of stalled, and then they exploded in the fourth quarter. Jaden Daniels had a, so-so game, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And then the second game, the Eagles had, I think, a 21-7 lead. Jalen Hurts got hurt, and then things shifted once Kenny Pickett came in. They weren't able to have a running game going because they were just stacking the run up. And in the end, the Commanders turned the ball over heavily. Devontae Smith dropped a ball that would have given him a first down and potentially gave him a score to win the game. And in the end, Jaden Daniels throws 5 touchdown passes. They win that game 36-33. Jalen Hurts is a little banged up for this game, I guess with his knee. And he did not look good in practice from the video that was shown, moving around gingerly. Quinyon Mitchell is good to go for this game. Cam Jurgens, your guy, you're more of a Landon Dickerson guy.
Yeah.
But he is questionable, but he'll most likely play. My thing in this is it's simple. Jaden Daniels, really good story. Plays better than a rookie. He definitely could win this game for them. I just don't see it this time around. I think that when you're a division opponent on the road, it's very difficult to go in there and win, especially in Philadelphia. I think Vic Fangio's defense is going to scheme it up to confuse Jaden Daniels the best of their abilities. The thing that I do say that could keep the Commanders in the game, if it's just going to be like they can like I think the Eagles can win this game without really throwing the football. They can run with Saquon and play defense. But if they become stagnant offensively, the same deal as last week, the same deal actually the last 2 weeks, where Jalen Hurts is not doing anything offensively and he's getting sacked, and they just have to punt the ball back repeatedly back to the Commanders, then something could break in their way. But for the most part, I just see the Eagles being a better football team. I see like the Commanders just being here maybe a year too early. I was really impressed with their victory last week. Jaden Daniels has been maybe the best rookie quarterback we've seen in quite some time. but I just think this is where it ends. I think the Eagles are just a better football team. So I'm going to take them. It's a 6-point spread, 47.5. I'm going to take the Eagles. I'll lay the points on the 6, but I'll go under on that 47.5.
Interesting. I do think one big factor and something that really is not really talked about too much, and quite frankly, I'm not gonna act like I knew about this guy, but when I see that a starting guard named Sam Cosmi has been out with an injury, and the fact that the Eagles' middle of the defensive line kind of, I don't want to say wrecked that game against the Rams, but it really did come down to the last 2 drives of the game, the last 2 possessions. So from that point on, Jalen Carter was wrecking that game. So I think that's going to be like the biggest factor. Also, you mentioned Quinyon Mitchell. Darius Slay, I think, is playing some of his best football too. So I think it's going to be really hard for the Commanders to stop that. They just got a lot of talent. I'm kind of with you, but I could also see, because weird things happen in the playoffs, I think the Eagles are going to win, but I could also see a Commanders backdoor cover.
Yeah.
I could see that happening, especially with that spread. So I'm going to take the Eagles to win, but I'm going to take the backdoor cover, Derek. I think
the old commie cover?
The old commie cover. We're going to go Commanders within 6. They're not going to win. And then I'll go over on that number.
All right.
I'll go over on that. But
does A.J. Brown get a touchdown?
No.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say 1 by Saquon on a big run, 1 tush push by Jalen Hurts, 1 from Dallas Goedert.
Yeah. Oh, Pat H is here. We talked about this in the last thing. It's still bullshit. Philly got Jalen Carter after his draft stock fell because of that reckless driving shit at Georgia. Yeah, he was supposed to be a number 1 overall pick. Pat, we talked about that on the last episode. Yeah. Someone literally said, like, it's insane that he wasn't the number 1 overall pick last year. And then someone responded, did you see what he did at Georgia? It's not that insane to think about.
But is it more insane that that's just swept under the rug now?
It is. And that's just what we do in sports. We kind of forget about these things very quickly, unless you're like, Deshaun Watson, who just, he's kind of always going to have that hovering over him. But with Jalen Carter, didn't really care about that anymore.
I don't know if we're going to see Deshaun Watson ever again.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Like
with rupturing his Achilles twice in 1 year. Yeah, I don't know about that one.
I think he's also checked out, dude. Like, I think he's just checked out. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to live my life and kind of just
more power to you then.
Go into the darkness.
Yep. Okay, and then the AFC Championship game. Everything seems to just be going the Chiefs' way. I wasn't thoroughly impressed with their win last week over the Texans. However, I mean, defensively, they were great, but that may have been also just the Texans' offensive line just being putrid. I think the Chiefs are better offensively than they were the last 2 years on paper, but no catches from DeAndre Hopkins or Marquise Hollywood Brown. And the one thing that worries me in this matchup is Taylor Rapp is out at safety. So you got rookie Cole Bishop at safety, and he's going to be assigned to probably Travis Kelce. So who's going to stop him over the middle? Is it going to be more of Matt Milano has to help him out? To me, this is the best Bills team that we've seen in the playoffs during Josh Allen's time. I think it's the most complete team as far as defense and a running game and receivers. The receiving core is not as good as a year ago, but they just have a good group of guys. Amari could bust out a big, catch. Matt Collins is a safety net over the middle. You got the tight end group. You got Curtis Samuel, Khalil Shakir. So they are Keon Coleman too. So they actually have some guys. It's just different. They don't have the talent of a Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. But the Chiefs never lose at home at Arrowhead. They did for the AFC Championship games against Brady and Burrow. So everything's going the Chiefs' way. They've beat the Bills 3 times in the postseason when it's Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. This is probably the best quarterback rivalry we have right now. Josh Allen dominates the Chiefs in the regular season and then loses to them in the postseason. So you would say, like, this is going the Chiefs' way. But as I said last time, Steven, we've been watching enough America's games where this is setting up Or Josh, like they do the whole thing. It's like Alec Baldwin doing the narration. The first time the Chiefs and Bills played in 2020, it didn't go their way. Then a heartbreaker the next year. Then another heartbreaker. Would they ever beat this team? And I just think the same thing with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. I know I'm emphasizing it a lot more now. That sometimes just the tide turns. It happened with Steve Young and Troy Aikman. It happened with Peyton Manning.
Even in that commercial, they're like, it's
Peyton Manning.
It's Peyton Manning, debating Manning.
Yeah, I know.
Thank God they didn't go with another Peyton Manning. It could have took a nasty turn.
Masturbated Manning?
Yeah.
And Eli's like, well, believe me, I know that type of Peyton Manning.
Dude, if someone like just came to America and, wow, poor use of words. If someone traveled to America and just started watching football for the first time, they would think that the Mannings are like the only people that exist, you know?
Yeah, Mahomes.
And Mahomes, I guess. But it's just like they're on every commercial.
I know. But I just think the tide is turning. Like I love stories where you got beat by a certain team over and over and over again, and then finally you fought back and won. And that's what happened with Manning and Brady. That's what happened with the Niners and Cowboys, Eagles and Buccaneers. It just changes sometimes. So I know you say, just take the Chiefs. It's easier that way. You're not gonna get your heart broken. You're not gonna look stupid. I'd rather look smart than just go with the conventional thing. I'm going with the Bills, and I'll take the under. This is more my heart speaking, but yeah, I'm going with the Bills.
Well, I look, for all of that, I know I said that it's easier that way, just do it. But I also truly believe that Steve Spagnuolo, we'll go back to America's game. In Spags, we trust is a huge thing. Yeah. And I think that guy just watches tape nonstop. And I think he's going to be rolling over that Bills game from November 17th. I think they're going to do everything they can to stop Josh Allen. And I don't know if that's, putting Chris Jones on the outside, but God, Chris Jones and George Karlaftis are just so good together. And I think that Spagnuolo is kind of going to do what you say Vic Fangio is going to do against the Commanders. And I know Josh Allen has been playing his most efficient football. I know he's been taking care of the football, something that people had him as a non-NFL quarterback because of just how reckless he used to be. I know that. We're also forgetting that the Ravens did drop a couple of interceptions in that game too.
Yeah.
So it's not like he was completely accurate in that game. I do want Josh Allen to win, but I just think it's going to come down to one or two plays. And I think the Chiefs are ultimately going to go on to win here. I just think they're going to play a little bit more of a disciplined game. And I know that Josh Allen is awesome. Like I really want him to win it, but there's just something different about the Chiefs at this time, man. And I can't really tell you what's changed other than they got a little bit stronger at wide receiver. Patrick Mahomes is in his prime right now. Like I'm going to take the under as well, but I'm also going to take the points, take the Chiefs there and not really lay the points because it's kind of a pick 'em. But I'm just going to take the Chiefs to win it. Unfortunately, I think they're going to go to the Super Bowl. And I also think that no matter who wins this game, I think they're going to win the big game. So
yeah,
depending on it, I don't want them to, but I just think that's what's going to happen.
No, I'm with you. I think that everything's leaning the direction of the Chiefs, but I don't know. I'm just hopeful that this time the Bills can do it.
I know, and I am too, and I think we're going to get a really good game. These normally are really good games. It's just the Chiefs are just so good at this, and like that regular season, I know Josh Allen had that big run, and they kind of won it by 9 points or whatever it was.
Yeah, they won it by 9 points, and they effectively won the game once they did a 4th and 1, and Josh Allen ran for a huge touchdown.
I just think Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo are so good. I think they're going to be. If you listen to any of these press conferences, it's been all about preparation. All about preparation. It all comes back to preparation, and. Josh Allen says what's changed from last year to this year. Well, it's just the love that we have for each other in the locker room and blah, blah, blah. We don't want to lose this game. Deion Dawkins, like he had an awesome lead up to the press conference and the lead up to this one. He's saying, look, man, I'm a Buffalo guy now. I'm a part of this community. We are going to win for Buffalo. We're doing this for Buffalo. But man, I think it's going to be so hard when they're in Arrowhead. I really do.
I don't know, man. I still think about, I'm thinking about all of the segments they could do on America's Game. Like I even told you when we were picking our season preview picks of what team's going to win the Super Bowl. I don't know if I picked the Bills again. Maybe I did, but
you did. You had the Bills winning.
Did I? Okay. Well, I want to stick with that, but also in training camp where they were just yeah, we just have a good we were good vibes. I can see it right now when it's Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, and you hear the producer off the mic being like, "So tell us about Matt Collins." Oh, dude, Matt Collins is a weird cat, man. Weird cat. When he came into training camp all barefoot, we were like, "Oh, this guy's weird." Then it cuts to Matt Collins. Yeah, people don't get the barefoot thing, and then they go do a whole thing on that, and that leads to them having a great season and then finally beating the Chiefs. See, it's a perfect America's Game episode.
All right. I agree with you. It'd be more entertaining to watch as an America's Game episode. But this could very well no one thought the Chiefs were going to win again. The first team ever to go three-peat. No one had confidence in us. I had confidence in us, though. I thought we were going to win, and I knew we could.
Yeah. Those ones are getting repetitive. It's every time. It's Kelsey, it's Mahomes, it's Chris Jones, it's Paul Rudd being super serious with the narration. Come on, I don't need that again. You want to talk about a little Warriors before we get out of here? Maybe a little pop culture catch up, or you want to do one or the other? Would you prefer to do that?
Talking a little Warriors in our post football talk.
Oh, well done there. Okay, really brief on the Warriors. I don't know. Wow,
what a start to the Warriors conversation. Let's talk Warriors. I don't know.
I mean, I'm just kind of I'm over the conversation of. Well, first off, I'm really over Draymond calling out Jordan Poole on Twitter.
It's getting old.
It's really old. Jordan didn't emphasize I'm talking about Draymond. I know he was insinuating him, but for Draymond to then have to comment on Mark Spears' tweet, then go on his podcast with Baron Davis, who adds nothing on that show. And
hey, where's the love?
It's come on, Draymond, you need to let it go. You need to let it go, dude. But just as far as the team, the Kings game was just a microcosm of the whole season. Steph can't do it on his own. He has a great first half, doesn't do anything the second half. Try to get the other guys involved. Andrew Wiggins has a great game, but can't close it out. So many turnovers in the second half. And then they have a great game against Chicago. It's great, it's Chicago. And we're scouting Vucevic. And I'm I don't think Vucevic is that good. Is it really worth it trading for him and having to move off of, I don't know, GP2 or any of these other guys? And then, I'd rather have Zach LaVine, but Zach LaVine makes $43 million a year, and you got to trade Andrew Wiggins to get him. And I don't know if I like that. So, I don't know. Quinn Post is, he could be a good bench player. I don't know. It's just one game. Him and Guy Santos are flashing right now, but I enjoy the Quinn Post story about Steph driving him to the airport. You think Quinn Post has a little Ethan Hawke in him?
Ethan Hawke.
Kind of looks like him a little bit.
Not really.
Murph had that one.
Who's Guru trying to say? It's Guru and I were talking about it on Friday. Johnny Drama.
Yeah.
A little bit of that.
Yeah, definitely that. I was going to say, if he's Ethan Hawke, just that car ride with Steph and Quinn Post, how awkward does it get where, if they can't think of anything to talk about after a while? So then Steph turns into Denzel from Training Day and just all right, so you tell me a story. You were on the beat for a whole year, and that's the most interesting story you can come up with?
I thought you were going to say Steph is taking him down 280 and then gives him something to smoke. What's in this? A little PCP.
I don't know. To get wet, Quinn Post.
No, I mean that's really cool. Come on,
yeah.
That's so cool that Steph did that. I know.
Drove his friend from the airport.
Sometimes I think the Steph love is a little much. I think gosh, it's if you say anything negative on Steph, then you're automatically just the most hated person out of Dub Nation. I think that sometimes it can get a little overblown. However, the thing that can't be repeated enough is genuinely just how good of a dude he is. Like that.
Yeah.
How many superstars would really do that? Like Post said 50 people. 50 people were there. And what? He's playing for the Santa Cruz Warriors. He probably lives pretty far down there. And we unfortunately know where Steph lives, probably going back to his place in Atherton. It's not an easy detour. And where'd they arrive? Probably Oakland Airport, right?
No, probably a SFO.
SFO even. Like,
Yeah.
That's a trek, man. So
yeah, you're thinking about like if it was me calling you, you'd be like, I don't know about the one, Derek. You probably take Bart.
Yeah. Say, I think Bart opens up in about an hour. You can just wait there, right? No, that's really cool of him, man. I think it's interesting though. I don't want to like completely shift my entire thought process on who they should draft and the type of players that they should go after. But I think Trace Jackson Davis is a decent player. I think Quentin Post is pretty damn good for what they got in the second round, at least just with these 2 games. He's got talent. Do you think there is something to kind of staying away from the one and done college players or the straight from high school to the G League type players? And there's something to maybe drafting guys who have been playing in college for a while. Like, because it was interesting what Kerr said when he's like, the guy played 5 years of college ball. Like, he's got a lot of experience there. And he's kind of an old school rookie in that sense. And I know we're all obsessed with the one and done players. And there's certain guys, of course, I'm not saying you should draft a guy just because he's played 4 years in college, but I do kind of like that mentality of we're going to go for guys who have played a lot and have had a lot of experience at the college level.
Yeah, Kerr values that a lot more. Like, did Pods play full 4 at Santa Clara?
I don't think it was a full 4, but he played quite a bit at Santa Clara.
Yeah, there's that, and that's why I think he values that more than like James Wiseman, who just he's like, this guy didn't play basketball enough for me. Like, he's got the talent, but I can't teach him how to play basketball.
He was at Illinois and then Santa Clara.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that's something that Steve Kerr values a lot more.
Yeah.
Like that's why like we're questioning like how come Anthony Lamb is getting more minutes than Kuminga or Moses Moody. It's like I can't say how long those guys played college, but I just think and that's something that Steve values a lot more is experience. Now what Kenny Smith said was very interesting, where I agree with him. They probably should do a rebuild, but they don't have the time. They don't. They have 2 years left with Steph, and they have 1 year left with Steve. They should have done that a long time ago. They should have done that last year, honestly. Instead, you're going to try to do the quick fix thing where you're going to hope to trade for Kevin Durant in the offseason or Giannis or any big name they could find, and I don't know if that's even going to help them. Giannis would. KD at this point, I don't know. You should do it, obviously, and you would come full circle, and that's a hell of a way to end Steph's time with the Warriors. But I don't know if they could compete with the likes of OKC or any of these younger teams. And, there's one whole thing to this, Jimmy Butler situation with the Phoenix Suns getting 3 future first-round picks from the Utah Jazz.
Right.
I think we're all anticipating the next couple of days here before the draft or the trade deadline. Jimmy Butler is going to get traded to the Phoenix Suns, and it sounds like Bradley Beal is going to waive his no trade clause to go to the Bucks, and Chris Middleton will go to the Heat in a 3-way trade.
Wow.
If that happens, that could potentially rejuvenate Kevin Durant to want to stay with the Phoenix Suns. That could also make it appealing for Giannis to want to stay with the Milwaukee Bucks because he's got Bradley Beal. So, this move could potentially hurt the Warriors' chances to get another superstar. It could also hurt the Warriors for a team that's in their own conference getting better. And I think we also have to put, not blame, but a little bit on Steph and Draymond to be like, how come you guys didn't want to do this? Because we're so quick to blame Mike Dunleavy, but we're all well aware that Steph and Draymond, have a huge hand in what they do as far as trades and signings and everything. So if they don't go after Jimmy Butler, it sounds like they don't want to. Well, I mean, shit, Mike Dunleavy will get blamed. But I think we also should point to the fingers at the guys that, are running the ship here as far as playing on the court and also telling their guys, Lowry Markkanen's not good enough. This guy's not good enough. Jimmy Butler's not going to help us. They're kind of poo-pooing a lot of things lately.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall for those conversations because we don't know that ultimately.
Right.
But I got to go back to just how we were talking about this team before. And I think it kind of came true where we don't know what direction this team needs to go in. Like, we don't know. They were stuck in the middle, this weird purgatory where it's like you can't rebuild because you obviously want to win with Steph, but you don't want to trade away your future. You don't want to trade away these younger assets because you feel like that'd be wasting them away. I kind of agree with, I think actually what Marcus Thompson said on your guys' station, where he indicated like, look, Steph and Draymond are telling you like they're not going to make any big moves this year. And for whatever reason, just because one person said that Jimmy Butler should go to the Warriors, we're thinking that back up again. Like, no, that's dead and gone. Like that is down the stream. It's far from wherever we were thinking.
Yeah.
I just think like they're probably not going to make a trade before the deadline, and we're just going to see them ride it out here with their younger players until this offseason, and then hopefully they can get a deal done there. I think that's the reality. You can come up with trade scenarios, and there are certain guys who, could maybe make them a better team. But at the end of the day, I just don't think we're going to see much from the Warriors this year other than they are going to try to compete for a play-in spot and then go from there in the offseason.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know if it's worth it to trade for a Vucevic, and I guess the asking price, according to Anthony Slater, is just ridiculous. So I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they're going to do Cam Johnson. What I would do at this point, maybe is just sell off Dennis Schroeder. He makes no sense to be on this team anymore.
No.
He's not even in the starting lineup. He's not that good. He's just a fit. Like the whole thing with Draymond saying like we need to work around him. No, he never was the type of player that worked in this offense. He's an ISO guy. He works with the ball in his hands. I pulled the plug on Dennis
He's turned
Schroeder.
the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
Like a lot.
And how many times does he score in the double digits? It's usually single digits. He averages 7 points a game for a starting 2 guard. Come on.
Yeah, it's very rare.
It's not working. All right. A little pop culture catch-up before we get out of here?
Sure, Derek.
All right.
What do you got?
I haven't seen anything lately.
All right, excellent, man. So you start the Warriors saying, I don't know. In pop culture catch-up, I haven't seen anything lately. I'm sorry for attacking you, man, because I got nothing. I got nothing either. Well, I got something.
Well, there you go. I was going to bring up how you and I think like the only podcast in America that brings up this movie. Better Man, the Robbie Williams biopic, has done so poorly at the box office that Paramount's not even going to release what they're going to do box office wise. And this movie, like all the reviews are incredible. Everyone's saying this is the most original idea in years, and no one's seeing it because it's just too weird for them.
Hang on, Derek. Let's pull it up because this is so funny. This is actually like with how wrong, particularly I was about this. I mean, the film made $1.9 million on a $110 million budget. And it's not just in the US alone. I think like a grand total, it made like 25 million globally.
Yeah, see, that's the one I'm surprised about because I understand why it's not doing well here because no one knows who Robbie Williams is. And honestly, there was not good advertising for it here. I can't even watch it in Oakland. Like I'd have to go.
Right.
I have no idea where to watch this movie. But in the UK, where Robbie Williams is huge, I think the concept is just so fucking weird for people. They're like, I don't know, I want to go see this. But everyone that does see it says it's amazing. So I don't know. I'll catch it when it's on Paramount Plus in a month.
Yeah, the album's #1 in the UK right now, so that's something. But yeah, man, it's just got no publicity at all. I thought I was going to watch it in theaters, and then I'm looking at the show times, and it's only being played at like 8:50 or 9:15. Like I can't go watch it that late, at least during a weeknight, which is normally when I go to see movies. So even like no one knew about it. Movie theaters barely played it. It was kind of just, yeah, what everyone said about it. They were right. And I let my bit of Robbie Williams fandom kind of just gloss over the fact that, yeah, no one really knows who he is. And people in America don't care about that unless they're, American, because Americans only care about Americans and nothing else.
Pretty much. But like when you do a biopic, like it's tough for Americans to get behind. Like for Bob Dylan, A Complete Unknown, I haven't seen that yet either, but it's easy to, okay, I know Bob Dylan, I know the songs. With Robbie Williams, it's tough because most Americans are like, Robin Williams? Oh, Robbie Williams.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah.
Why? And he's played by a monkey. Well, why would I see this? This is insane. But to you and me, this is original and goofy and a great idea, but no one cares. So I'll watch it on streaming, and I'm sure it's gonna be amazing.
Random. Have you ever like watched? We're acting like we're movie buffs here, whoever, and all this sort of stuff. It's like, no, people just didn't want to see it. It's fine. But have you ever watched like a Criterion Closet video before?
I have.
I'm like, what the? I'm just thinking about what the hell. Like, it's a little too much for me. It's like, oh, I love this movie growing up. It's like, eh.
Okay, hold on.
It is.
I say a lot of weird things, my friend. This is interchangeable. I see a lot of English people say biopic, but you can also call it biopic. I'm not wrong there.
It's a biopic. It's a biopic. It's not biopic. It's not some sort of medical procedure. It's biopic. It's a bio and it's a picture. It's biopic. It's like the same thing with GIF and GIF. It's not interchangeable. It's not GIF. It's graphics interlaced format or whatever. Graphics, G, hard G. It's GIF. It's not GIF.
Nah, fair enough.
It's not a peanut butter.
Yeah, but
I don't know why I'm getting so aggressive with this. I apologize.
Yeah, you're getting very aggressive.
It's a little much.
Yeah, Steven, I'm with you
Chill
though.
with Jesse's like, chill out for the list.
Yes, please. I'm with you though with the Criterion Collection, and like I love movies, but I will say, the whole like I was around a lot of film school nerds in Austin, and just the whole like, oh, you like that movie? Oh, I only like art films. I only like movies with great mise en scène, and like it's just like, well, please, like movies are movies at the end of the day. I'm not gonna act like like how dare you insult a movie like that? Like I know I'm the guy that's like, you haven't seen that movie, but at the same time, it's just like snootiness when it comes to that shit. Like Criterion, yes, but I hate like some movies are selected for that. Like why can't we get like Anchorman for Criterion?
Yeah. I love this Japanese director. He had such an influence on me growing up. Oh, really? Like I really, if I was, I'd agree. If I was in the Criterion class, I would choose something like Anchorman or like Dumb and Dumber. I'd choose the DVD and be like, I watched this so much that my mom hid the videotape from me just because I was watching it, which she actually did. She hid it from me because she
there's a way. There's a way to discuss movies without it being pompous, and I feel like that happens a lot with like film school kids. It just annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah. So it's a little much.
All right,
but for me, pop culture catch up, real quick.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
Just finished season. Was it 3? 3 of Shrinking, or was it 2?
Yeah,
I think it was 2. What? It was 2. It was 2. Yeah, they've got a 3rd season coming out though. Yeah. Just finished season 2 of Shrinking, and I don't know. We love that show. It's got one of my favorite characters whose name is Derek, actually. He is one of my favorite characters in television history. Derek is awesome. He's played by the actor who, God, what's he been in? He was in, I think he was like the main guy in Revenge of the Nerds, like the long blonde haired one. The main athlete. Or if you watched Major League 3 with Back to the Minors, he was the guy who was the head coach of the Twins.
I skipped that one.
You skipped that one, dude?
I've seen Major League and Major League 2. I've not seen Major League 3, Back to the Minors.
Okay. Let me just,
at a certain point you realize, okay, these movies are all the same.
I'm going to pull up a pic. I'm going to pull up a pic here. There he is. This guy.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. God damn it. This is too much.
It's not him.
Yeah, there we go. Cool. All right. I'm all over the place. But yeah,
Okay.
Derek is awesome. Shrinking is awesome. Jason Segel is amazing. All the characters in there. Ted McGinley is the guy's name.
Gotcha.
But I
on,
recommend
Apple,
that show for anyone.
Apple TV.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
I need to watch Shrinking, and I need to I'm going to wait actually until I see my mom in Florida to watch the new season of Severance.
Right.
Have you started it yet?
Not yet. Just I mean, I don't know why we haven't watched it yet. I guess we have to do the weekly thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, we're moving. That might be a big
yeah.
Deal.
But I'm probably gonna wait for that one once they're all like available and everything. Real quick before we get out of here, Steven, do you mind pulling up on YouTube the trailer for Alto Kings?
Alto Kings.
Yeah.
Alto Kings.
So when Irishman came out, you and I were making fun of it because it's just like a straight up like, you're doing too fucking much.
Yeah.
It's a solid flick, but I will say the whole de-aging thing was, I thought, ridiculous. It made De Niro look ridiculous. We all knew he was a 70-year-old man, and they tried to make him like a 20-year-old man. However, this new gangster flick with De Niro might be worse than Irishman.
Whoa. Vito Genovese. Okay.
Where do I start? You're going down a very dangerous road. And we ain't been down dangerous roads before. But that's the risk you take. Me, I take that.
But you're
risk.
not where I am. I give to charities, I pay my taxes.
Let's remember something. I put you where you are today. It's because of me. Mr. Good Citizen. You want to be like them? Come on, you ain't like them. They own this country. They're bigger gangsters than we ever could be. All of a sudden you want to be half in, half out, half a racketeer. You can't have it both ways. You're either in or you're out.
You must have seen who shot you. The man took a shot at his own boss.
We just grew up together. Frank sometimes forgets where he comes from.
Bit more fly off the handle.
You make sure he's dead. Bang, 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 bang.
I don't want to make a lot of noise.
Noise, it's a fucking gun.
What happens now?
I'm gonna retire. I need to find a way to take it all down.
It's just you and me. We are our own family.
He's up to something.
I'm telling you, he's not going to try anything.
How do you know what he's gonna do?
Okay. I like how to
See that-
solidify this, to make this a real mafia movie.
You see the shot of spaghetti being made?
Let's just get this random shot of ragu being scooped up.
It's a quick frame, so you maybe can't find it. But
God.
why? Like, okay, it looks fine, but why? I would love to know the backstory here. Did De Niro agree to do this movie only if he was playing two roles, or did somebody drop out the last second, like it was supposed to be Pacino and him again, or Pesci or somebody? Why is it De Niro against De Niro?
They said, "Hey, think Eddie Murphy mafia movie. You play all the characters. You're the new Adam Sandler. This is going to be Jack and Jill, but with mob bosses."
Or Austin Powers, where there it is, Austin Powers and Dr. Evil facing off with each other. Yeah, there you go. Scorsese would just love that scene right there. Oh, look at that.
Hey, yo, you're cutting the onions too thin. It makes it like too many onions. You got too many onions in the sauce.
Medium rare, huh? An aristocrat, eh? I just don't understand. Like, it's not even like he looks different or he sounds different. It's pretty much just like, you fucking me over here. I'm fucking you over. Yeah, you fucking me over. Okay, well, what the fuck are we doing here? All right, okay. Like, you couldn't get another actor to play the other character. It had to be two De Niros. That is, wow.
All right, I might have to do the sports hot take guy thing. It's the time. It's the time De Niro hangs up the cleats.
No, nah.
It's the time that De Niro maybe just kind of sits back, lets others act, goes into his Jack Nicholson era.
Yeah, we haven't seen Jack in a long time. No, I think De Niro is when De Niro comes out with a gangster movie, you're still going to be like, well, De Niro in a gangster movie. Okay, I'll check that out.
Sure.
Like De Niro was supposed to play Vince Lombardi in a movie, and that never happened, which would have been awesome. Also, I guess this sucks. I read the other day that Scorsese's Sinatra movie with DiCaprio is getting postponed and may not even happen now, which sucks.
Oh, damn.
I was looking forward to that, but. De Niro still has it, even though I kind of think he slept walk through Irishman. But this is just, I don't know. Like, he would have been fine if you got like another actor, a really big time like gangster movie actor to play opposite him, then I would be all for this. But it's just like, you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. Oh, you talking to me? Yeah, I'm talking to you. De Niro opposite De Niro is just a ridiculous concept.
Yeah, they don't work. Those don't work. Those movies rarely ever work unless it's the Nutty Professor and the Clumps.
Exactly.
It don't
and
work.
Also, like, I saw, like, is Grace from Will and Grace his wife in this?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. I don't know. All right. She's a fine actress. It's just like, I don't know. Just feels kind of like this feels like a movie that could have been on Amazon Prime, but yet it's getting a wide release.
Yeah, Deborah Messing, right?
Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for today.
Yeah.
Steven? Anything else?
Well, we could continue our little hot sauce bet with the Oscars. Let's go through we will pick every category, Derek, in the Oscars. Every category. We don't even have to watch the movie. We just guess.
No, we definitely could do I like that. We could definitely do an Oscar thing for the Oscar picks. I haven't seen any of them. Like The Brutalist is supposed to be the big one, but I'm not watching another 3.5 hour movie in theaters.
It's even more than that.
It's more than that? With 4 hours?
It's almost 4. It's got an intermission and everything at the movie theater.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you heard about this thing, Megalopolis, the Francis Ford Coppola movie?
What about it?
There's a scene where someone, like, if you saw it in theaters, a person that works at the movie theater comes out and speaks to Adam Driver on the screen to do the Q&A part of the movie.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah, look it up. It's absolutely bizarre. And if you watch it on like home video, I don't know how that's supposed to work for you.
I think the Razzies got released recently.
The
Razzie nomination.
Yeah, that probably that movie probably swept them all.
We got Borderlands, Joker 2, Madam Web, Megalopolis, and Reagan for the worst picture category.
There was a Reagan movie that came out.
Yeah, it was with what's his face? Why am I blanking on that? Dennis Quaid. Dennis Quaid played
Oh,
Ronald
yeah.
Alrighty.
We'll do more Oscar talk down the road, and we're trying to do a Raiders roundtable with Spadoni and Alon Desai, and then we might do a Niner roundtable with our guys Tommy Call and Evan Giddings. We also might do a little crossover podcast with our guys Cody Elias and Alexander Scott for the Forgotten Sports podcast, but we'll figure out those times for you guys. We'll be back on Tuesday to review the conference championship games.
Oh boy!
To everybody in the chat, was there anyone here today?
Nah,
never. No Ernie one. Okay, Rocka New Era. Happy birthday, by the way, Rocka New Era, Ernie 2.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
5950 RNAE 84.
That's Rockin' New Era. He just made another account.
That's weird. Tacky, what's up? Eat shit as always. Pat H, Jesse, AJ Cruz,
Pigs 76.
Yeah, Pigs 76, and I believe that's it. All right, everybody. We'll see you guys on Tuesday. Steven, say what you always say.
It's just our opinion, man. I'm gonna have spaghetti in the trailer.